Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday morning. It's the 6th of December, and we're approaching the holidays, depending on what holidays you're celebrating. I want to welcome everybody here. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to talk about the entrepreneur's mindset. I think I'm qualified to do that. I've been doing this for 12 years now, so we've been very successful. We've sold millions of dollars of both digital and physical products. And I want to share with you today, I'm going to give you a list of the 20 things you need to get in your brain. They're not hard to do. None of them are hard to do, guys. Not a single one of these are hard, but you've got to understand what they are because you could be messing them up, and that could be what's preventing you from being successful online. So I want to welcome everybody. Please make use of that chat section there. Please make sure you put some comments on there. Tell me where you're from, what's going on. I know it's Monday morning at 10 o'clock. A lot of you guys are at work, so you can't watch me, but that's okay. You can catch this later on. And if you catch it later on, do me a favor, put whatever questions or comments you have in the comment section below. So while you're live, you can use the chat section, but that you can't use that after it's actually published on Facebook and YouTube. Okay, but you can use the comment section. So I just want to welcome everybody. I'm going to go through the list today. I want you to think about these things. Sometimes we go, oh yeah, I got that, I'm doing that, but you're really not. Okay, so I'm going to talk about all those things, those 20 things. And guys, they're so important. Really, without these 20 things that I'm going to give you this morning, it's very hard to be successful, if not impossible. So it makes it easy. You're going to have a list of 20 things. You can jot them down. You can come back. You can watch this video over and over again until you get all of them down. But once you've got all of these 20 things down, guys, you're going to be unstoppable. You really, really are. And don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button down there. Turn on bell notifications. Turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every single time I go live. All right. Are you guys ready? Are you ready to get started? Don't forget to give me a thumbs up too. If you would, give me a thumbs up down there. And yeah, let's start talking about some of these things that you're really going to need. Okay. It took me time really to develop this entrepreneurial mindset. It's a different kind of mindset. But the cool thing about it is, once you develop it, it spills over into all the parts of your life and it helps you improve all the parts of your life. So I think that's pretty good too. And I've tried different businesses and failed at them, but I learned a lot from that. Okay. I learned to think like an entrepreneur. And the payoff is you get to do what you want. You have fun, you have good money, you get freedom. It's not bad, right? So you just got to get these 20 things into your head and then you're going to be fine. If you want to develop an entrepreneur mindset, I'm telling you, this is the video for you. I've got it for you. I've got all this stuff for you. So an entrepreneurial mindset really is a set of beliefs and thoughts and processes. Okay, these are all things that you have to have that most of the world doesn't have. They don't have it. I've seen a lot of people try to make money online and they don't. It is because they're missing one or more of these items. Entrepreneurs really believe it's possible to improve their life situation. And that's one of the things you got to get in your head, is that it is possible for you. You're no different than anybody else. You're really not. None of us are really any different. We're human beings on the face of the earth, and we're all just trying to get through this thing and trying to have a good time and be healthy and enjoy ourselves and have good family lives and all. That's all we really want. So none of us are really that different. I think it's funny when we try to divide ourselves, or the media tries to divide us. I mean, the big thing now is red and blue. And I was listening to a comedian last night. He goes, yeah, we got the Bloods and we got the Crips now. He says, they're trying to divide us into two different gangs, the Democrats and the Republicans. It's so crazy because we allow them to do that to us. Hey, whether you're American, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Mexican, whether you're Spanish, it doesn't matter what you are. We're all the same. We're just people. Okay. Maybe we were born in different areas and we look a little bit different, but we're still all just people. Okay. Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. You're right, because it's all about thinking, guys. It's all about what you put in your head. The power of an entrepreneurial mindset is obvious when you think about it. Entrepreneurs succeed like they do because they think, act, and they view the world differently than most people do. And that's what we want to do today. So I want you to think like this, okay? If you want to learn how to build an entrepreneurial mindset, you need to know the successful entrepreneurs' thought processes. If you don't know those thought processes, you can't do it either, okay? So let's take a look at all of them, okay? First one, number one, is you've got to be independent, okay? This is one of the most important aspects of the entrepreneurial mindset. Entrepreneurs do not follow the crowd or the group, okay? They don't look to others to get instructions. Instead, they listen to their gut and they carve out their own path. They decide what they want to do. In 2010, I started Survivalcave Food, and it was a food company where we were going to sell emergency foods, canned meats online. A lot of people looked at me like I was insane. They thought, what are you doing? I mean, this is crazy. Nobody's going to buy that. And since then, I've done millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of sales. I built a beautiful home and a great life all around that company. And that company grew into a whole lot more companies. And I would say 100% of my friends and family told me it wouldn't work. But don't let that bother you. Steve Jobs said this. I think this is a great quote. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. Okay. It doesn't matter what their opinions are. And mostly those opinions will come from people who haven't done anything. So they can't even comprehend you being able to do something because they haven't. Okay. And guys, make use of that chat box there. I see there's folks in here and you're not saying hi to me. You're not doing anything. You gotta participate. That's one of the things about being an entrepreneur. You've got to participate. You've got to just jump in there and say something. Okay. I'm not a date or anything. You don't have to be scared to go up to me and talk. Okay. Nothing's going to happen. So go ahead. Just say who you are, what's going on. Number two, you've got to have responsibility. The independent mindset of successful entrepreneurs takes from that sense of I'm always responsible. Okay. And that's how I look at it. If things don't work out, it's 100% my fault. It's never anybody else's fault. Now, could it be somebody else's fault sometimes and I'm wrong? Yes, but it's a whole lot better if I just blame myself, because that way I'm going to try to improve it. Entrepreneurs don't blame others for their life situation. They empower themselves. They take responsibility for improving things themselves. Failure, success, life circumstances, it doesn't really matter what it is. Even if something isn't your fault, like I said, by taking responsibility for it, you're empowering to improve it. If you just let go of something and say, well, it's not my fault, nothing I can do about it, you can't improve it. There's nothing you can do about it. The next thing is I want you to think abundantly. Think abundantly. You know, some people will say, well, there's just not enough money. No, there's plenty of money. There's plenty of money out there. You just don't have enough of it. That's the real truth. A key part of the entrepreneurial mindset is abundance. Entrepreneurs know they can improve a situation. They can make money. They can create new opportunities. I know I can do that. I know that I can sit down today and write an email and send it out to my list and make money. I know I can do that. Okay. That's a really powerful feeling. And the sky really is the limit. I don't know how much I can sell yet. I haven't figured it out yet because I've sold a lot. I don't know how many people I can help yet because I've helped a lot of people, but I don't know how many more I can help. As a result, entrepreneurs don't hoard money or knowledge. And I'm not hoarding knowledge. Matter of fact, what I'm doing today is I'm giving you stuff that I know. You've got to be generous. You've got to understand that you get what you give. So I want to give all I possibly can because I know I'll get plenty back. Maybe not from you, but somehow, somewhere, it's going to come back to me. Let me get another sip here. The author and entrepreneur Robert Kiyosaki once wrote, I have never met a rich person who has never lost any money, but I have met a lot of poor people who have never lost a dime. You've got to be able to risk some of your money. You know, I have people say, well, I'm going to watch all your free stuff, JR. I'm never going to buy anything. You probably won't get ahead. Not that the free stuff's not good, but if you're not investing in yourself, if you don't feel like you can invest, you probably won't invest your time or anything else either. Even if you don't buy one of my courses, which I have listed below, you can check them out. But even if you don't buy one of those courses, buy a course from somebody, get some training, learn stuff. Next thing is number 4, you got to be goal oriented. Entrepreneurial thinking is always goal oriented. Now, let me explain to you, this goal has to be specific. So if you say, well, I want to make more money this month, that's not specific. If you say, I want to make $1,500 this month, that goal is specific. You need that. It's got to be measurable. If you can't measure it, it doesn't matter. You can't say, I want to be more successful. That's not a measurement. You got to say, I want to be able to sell 1,000 of these widgets. Okay. That is measurable. It's got to be attainable. Okay. You can't say next month, I want to make $10 million when you've only made $4,000 a month. Okay. It's got to be attainable. So it's got to be semi-realistic, but I want it to be big. Okay. I always want it to be big. It's got to be relevant to your situation. And most importantly, it's going to be time sensitive. You can't say, I'm going to start making $10,000 a month. Start making it. When is that going to happen? What is the time frame from that? What is the cutoff? Okay, next thing, and this is the big one. Number 5 is a big one. You can't be afraid of failure. You can't have any fear of failure because it's going to happen. And if you've got that fear of failure in you, you're not going to try as many things. And if you don't try as many things, you won't be as successful. So you've got to do that, guys. Paul, do you have a set of rituals or habits that help you protect your mindset and goals? Yes, I do have a habit. My habit is I stay away from anybody who starts talking negative. 100% of the time I get away from them. I've had friends and neighbors or whatever that turn negative or start being negative, and I just shut them off. I'm like, I got to go. I got to leave. I'm done. Okay. I don't always tell them. Matter of fact, I almost never tell them why. I just disappear. I ghost those people. I had a couple friends in San Diego. They were real nice. It was a nice couple. They ended up splitting up, and the guy in the couple, wanted to stay in touch, but he was just negative, and I don't have time for it. So that is definitely something. And I also, my other ritual, I guess if you want to call it a ritual, Paul, is that every time something bad happens, I get excited. Because I know something good's going to come out of it. And if you take every bad situation like that, and you're going to have them, I have them, you have them, everybody has bad situations. But if you take all those situations, you say, oh, God, woe is me, this is a horrible situation, and you do that every single time, guess what? You're going to get worse and worse and worse in the hole. So you want to always say every failure, everything that happens bad, right, is a good thing. Thomas Edison said this, I have not failed. He says, I've not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Number 6, you got to be growth directed. You got to be growth directed. When doing this for, there was a psychologist, I'm trying to think of her, and I think it was Carol Dweck, but for 20 years, she researched on the view to adopt yourself profoundly affects the way you need to lead your life. Okay, so whatever view you have is going to be how your life is going to be led. Someone with a fixed mindset that believes that they are permanently, going to fail and they're just not going to do well and they're an unlucky person, that will direct their life. If somebody always believes they're lucky and things always work out for them, they seem to always work out for them because you're going to operate in that direction. Okay, whatever you believe in your head, you're going to operate in that direction. So important to do that. Okay, so important to remember that. If you don't remember that, if you're not growth oriented, if you're not the type of person who believes in growth, you're going to have a problem. I got another quote here for you. This is from Hal Elrod. He says, your level of success will rarely exceed your level of personal development because success is something you attract by the person you become. Okay, so who are you becoming? You shouldn't be the same person you were 10 years ago. You shouldn't be. You should have improved from 10 years ago. You shouldn't have gotten worse. You shouldn't have gotten heavier and more out of shape. You should have gotten better shape. Okay, your mind should be healthier. You should be smarter. You should know more. That's what should happen. So yeah, you should change. Some people say, well, I don't think I ever want to change. Well, that's a shame because that means you're not growing. I have found that you need to decrease your exposure to negative people. Yes, you do. I treat them like radioactive waste, like we were taught. Time, distance, and shielding, limit time with them. Yes, 100%. Not that you don't love them, but that you're not going in the same direction. 100%. And I have friends I've left behind. I have friends I'm still friends with. This Friday, I'm going to go spend some time with my friend from high school. I hadn't seen him in, I think, 36 years. No, excuse me. Let me correct that. I hadn't seen him, I think, in 44 years, 43 years. Yeah, been a long time, and I saw him in September. And I'm going back to see him now, and he's a very wealthy guy. He owns a bunch of businesses. I won't say who he is. So there's people out there that know him, but he has a lake house he built, and we're going to go hang out there. Super wealthy guy, nice guy. Stayed friends with him. We both went in a really positive direction, so that's a good thing. Don't waste your time proving over and over how great you are when you could be getting better. Okay, so don't hang on to those past successes so tightly. Okay, try to find new successes. You've got to be forward thinking. If this is number 9, forward thinking, by the way, if you're keeping track, I hope you're keeping track. If you want to learn how to think like an entrepreneur, you need to think long term. Okay, long term. William Buffett said, someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. You've got to be forward thinking. I'm a buy and hold person in the stock market. I think Warren Buffett is too. Successful entrepreneurs know that big goals take a long time. It's going to take a long time. Every time I get with a new entrepreneur wannabe and they say, well, I want to start selling stuff online, they want to make money the next month. And I say, well, it doesn't always happen that way. You may make some money the next month. You may lose some money, but you just keep going. It's the long term. When I started selling online, I lost money the first few months. Matter of fact, I wasn't making much money for about a year. It took me a while. So it takes time. You got to be forward thinking. Number 10, you've got to accept yourself the way you are. Many people will really struggle with their self-image. If you don't like something about yourself, it's really easy to devalue or even hate yourself. And that's craziness, because you are the one that should really love yourself. You are the one that should really pump yourself up. You're the one who should stand in front of the mirror and say, man, I can do a lot of things and I'm going to do it. So successful entrepreneurs accept themselves exactly the way they are. And they try to work on those things that they're a little bit weak on. That's it. That's all there is to it. They know who they are is going to change over time, and they're working on becoming a better person. Number 11, we're up to number 11. That's pretty good. We're 10, 16 up to number, I'm going to get to 20. Don't worry. You've got to be aware of yourself. You got to be aware of yourself. Okay. Entrepreneurs know the only thing that holds us back is ourselves. That's it. That's the only thing that holds us back. There's no other obstacles. I don't care what you tell me. I'm going to ignore you because it's yourself. They pay close attention to their strengths, their weaknesses, which allows them to improve faster and really play to all those things that they're really good at. Okay. So that's what you need to do. And number 12, you got to be collaborative. What is collaborative? You got to work with other people. Okay. That's so important. Jeff Bezos didn't build Amazon by himself. Okay. He didn't do that. He built a whole culture over there. Love him or hate him, doesn't matter. He did build something. You have to respect that. So if you want to think like an entrepreneur, you need to think in terms of we instead of I all the time. You've got to get people who are going to be motivated to work with you and work for you. Okay. If you don't have that, you're going to have a problem. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You've got to have a team, guys. This is super, super important that you do that. Number 3, you've got to be a courageous individual. It's not easy to start a business, okay? It takes some courage, okay? Very important. Peter Drucker, the great Wall Street guy, he says, whenever you see a successful business, someone once made a courageous decision, okay? They did something that other people were afraid to do. Let me get a sip here real quick. What was the biggest thing that pushed you to becoming the entrepreneur you are today? Wow. You know, I think I've been an entrepreneur many times and then went back to a job and went back and forth. This is the longest time I've been an entrepreneur. It's 12 years. And I can tell you what pushed me over the edge last time was my boss. I didn't like him. He was a lowlife. He was a drug addict. He was an alcoholic. He just did everything wrong. He was lazy, and I couldn't take it anymore. And I will tell you this, Paul, the biggest motivator in life is disgust. You know, people don't come to America because they're happy where they were living. They were over it. They were like, I'm done. I don't like this government. I don't like the opportunities here. I don't like any of this. I'm out of here. I would rather go live in America and start my life all over again at 20 or 50 or 70, whatever the age is. They would rather start all over again because of disgust. So I think it's that. I think that's a big one. Nelson Mandela, as an activist and former president of South Africa, said, I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. So think of it that way, guys. Have the courage to do some of the stuff you want. Number 14 is going to be understanding the difference between comfortable and uncomfortable. Courage really is essential because you're going to be comfortable with discomfort. Okay. I don't mind being uncomfortable. When I'm doing stuff that's difficult, when I was editing some videos last night, I just didn't want to do it, but I was like, you know what? I just got to do it. These are things that have to be done. So I got it done. Growth and expansion require you to move way beyond your comfort zone. Okay. If you're comfortable with everything you do every single day, you won't do a whole lot. You also have to have the ability to change directions. Number 15, ability to change directions. When you're an entrepreneur, you have some huge goals, and you know they're going to be possible, but you gotta get in there and make them happen. And when you start climbing and things don't work out, you may need to move over to a different branch. I've done it many times myself. Your first product fails, try another and another and another. My first product failed. It was cell phone cases, and I talk about it many times. But it didn't really fail in my mind because I didn't make money, and because I lost money. I don't feel like it's a failure because at least I learned how to sell stuff online. I learned how to list things online. I learned how to use PayPal and eBay, and all those things were strange to me at the time. So I learned from it. Let's see here. What do you wish you knew when you started out, but have learned along the journey where you're at now? Boy, you have some good questions, Paul. You must practice this stuff. What do I know now that I didn't know when I started out? I think it really goes back to something I've already said, and I hate to repeat myself, but it's the truth. When bad things happen, good things come of it if you decide that they're going to. And I told the story many, many times about, the day that I was going to one of my warehouses in, I think it was Kentucky at the time. And my wife was going to give me a ride to the airport. My car was parked in the street. Hers was parked in the driveway. We can't do that anymore. They won't let you park in the street where we moved to. That's a violation. You can't park in the street. No parking in the street. But anyhow, we went out to get in her car and it was gone. And I accepted the fact that her car was stolen. And I looked at her and I said, we're going to have to take my car because yours was stolen. She replied back with, how do you know that? I said, well, it's gone. That's all I need to know. And only me and you have access to it. And she was very upset. And I said, this is a great thing. This is a wonderful thing. This is awesome, honey. And she looked at me. She says, are you crazy? How is my car getting stolen an awesome, wonderful thing? And I replied to her, I don't know yet. I don't know, but somehow I feel like it's a wonderful thing, and it's going to be a wonderful thing. Now, as time went on, they did find the car. They totaled the car, and they gave her way more than what the car was worth, and she got a much nicer car. And when she got the much nicer car, I looked at her and I said, you got a nicer car. It worked out, didn't it? She goes, yeah. How did you know? I said, I didn't. I just assumed it was going to be a better situation because that's what we have to do. Now we both do that. We both do that. She does it. I do it. And we've gotten better results. Number 16, by the way, if you're keeping track, is problem solving. You're going to have to solve problems. If you don't like problems, you don't want to be an entrepreneur because you're going to have problems. Okay. You're going to, if you plumbers fix broken pipes. Okay. Netflix cures boredom. Car manufacturers help people get around. Elon Musk took it even further and he says, you don't even have to get gas for my cars. Bottom line is you help people fix problems as an entrepreneur. That's what you're going to be doing. The co-founder of Airbnb said, if we tried to think of a good idea, we couldn't have been able to think of a good idea. You just have to find the solution for a problem in your own life. And what they started out, the Airbnb guys, is they had a place and they didn't need it at the time, and they started renting it out, and they said, hey, other people could do this. So, they fixed the problem. Number 17, you've got to be extremely tenacious and very highly driven, okay? Your personal drive is really an essential part of being an entrepreneur because you've got to force yourself when things aren't going well. You've got to be driven to achieve your goals. You've got to work hard to go through the ride and reap all these rewards. It is tough. And I got a quote here from Mark Cuban. Let's see. Do you find that getting to events helps you with the creative process and future projects? Oh yeah. Every time I get around other people, Paul, I learn stuff. And it could be a 19-year-old person. It could be a 65-year-old person. I never judge somebody's wealth of knowledge based on their age or their sex or anything else about them, their nationality or anything, because I've got people that are friends of mine all around the world now, and they've helped me out immensely. And some of those friends, I have a friend who's an actor in England, and he's done movies with Idris Elba, and great actor, voiceover guy, and all that. And he's thankful because I've taught him a lot of things, he says, but he's taught me a lot of things. He's an entirely different genre than me, but his acting and his tenaciousness, his ability to go to these big calls where you got to try out for parts and get rejected over and over and over again and still be successful. I learned from that. I learned from all kinds of people. Mark Cuban says it's not about the money or connections. It's the willingness to outwork and outlearn everyone when it comes to your business. How good are you in your niche? And could you get better? Could you learn more? Could you do more? Henry Ford, I got a good quote from Henry Ford here. I'll put this on the screen. He says, when everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. So all those things can uplift you. Okay. They can uplift you or they can drag you down. Number 18, we only got 20. Let's see here. Paul's got a comment. When you look at building a new business, and some of you aren't commenting. I see you there, but you're not commenting. And comment anything on there. Richard Simpson says, amen. I'll take it. Amen, Richard. We got to get together too. We're both in Texas. When you look at building a new business like Jessica's or your future cooking channel, oh, you're going to hit me up with the cooking channel again. I worked on it some yesterday. What planning process do you do to map out the business? That's a great question. And what I do is I start with the result. So I'll give you an example. The cooking channel, I'm going to say, the result is I want to have this many subscribers. I want to have this many videos out there, and I want to have covered recipes that relate to restaurants that I've liked. Okay, so that's the result. And then I start in the beginning. I go, well, what do I do to get to that? Okay, well, I've got to go out there and look and see what people are searching for. I got to see the kind of recipes they like. I gotta help them with problems they have with cooking, whether it be a space to cook, or whether it's the equipment to cook, or whether it's the money to buy the goods to cook, or whatever. And I've got to solve all those problems. So I always start with the end result, and then I start with what I have to do to begin that particular thing. And Richard, did you ever do your cooking stuff? I knew you were going to do that. Give me an update on that, buddy. I want to know. Number 18, you have to be highly focused. Highly focused. This is super important, guys. If you can't focus, okay, and I have a hard time focusing. I'm not going to say it's easy for me. My mind goes in 50 different directions, and I just got to reel myself back in. Successful entrepreneurs are focused on achieving their goals. Now, this is not to say you have to be an extremely focused person to be an entrepreneur. This is saying that you have to force yourself to be focused, whether you are or not. I'm not a focused person, but I'm very focused in business because I force myself to do it. They're focused. They don't procrastinate. They always prioritize the most important task. I don't put stuff off. I just don't. We have a lot of repairs that need to be done on this house, and I know it's brand new, but little things we want to fix and change and install and all that. And I probably, since in the past 4 months, have a list of about over 30 or 40 items, I guess, something like that. There's only 1 or 2 that aren't done right now. And I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just saying I can't stand looking at something that I know that's got to be fixed, that needs to be done. If you've got that personality where needs to be done wakes you up in the morning, it wakes me up in the morning, then that's a good thing. To do this, you got to ask yourself, will this help me achieve my long-term goals? If you're sitting there watching, Facebook funny videos, or you're on YouTube, watching prank videos, ask yourself, will this help me achieve my long-term goals? Okay, if you're wanting to do prank videos, you're trying to get some information, maybe they are. But for the most part, a lot of the stuff we do take away from our goals. Is this the most important thing I can do right now? Ask yourself that question. Whatever you're doing, is this the most important thing I can do, or am I doing this thing to prevent myself from doing the important things so that I can put off the important things? Something to think about. Number 19, you've got to be action-oriented. And my comments just went off the screen here, so I'm going to probably miss a couple comments, but I'll get back to them. My iPad here just died on me. So you got to be action-oriented. You've got to want to read books. You've got to want to watch videos. You've got to want to make plans. You've got to get down to business, and you got to work. You got to do this stuff, guys. Entrepreneurs have a bias for action. They know that knowledge without action is meaningless. Some people say, well, I've got this great idea for this. I got this great idea for this. I got this great idea for this. And none of them matter. None of them matter because ideas don't create anything. Action does. So if you don't apply action to your idea is worthless. And I'm not saying there's not a lot of great ideas out there. Probably a lot of people with a whole lot greater ideas than I'll ever have. But if they don't add action, I'm ahead of them. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. I'm so tired of hearing people talk about all the things they're going to do and not ever do anything. It drives me crazy. Be decisive. The entrepreneur mind is decisive. Entrepreneurs must confront problems and make decisions every single day. You've got to be able to make decisions, guys. The reason people don't make decisions is because of what? I'll tell you why. Because they're afraid of making the wrong decision. Now, this is a useless fear. It's a useless fear because you're going to make some wrong decisions. You're going to make some decisions that aren't the best decision. But the worst decision you can make is to not decide at all because you've decided to do nothing. That's your decision. Okay. Let me get another sip here. A successful entrepreneur decide and then they get back to work. They make the decision. They don't let it hang over their head. And I've heard people say, well, I've been worrying about this one thing for like a month now. Why? Why not just go ahead and make a decision? Why would you worry for a month? Why would you weigh down your mind with that? That weight on your mind is going to prevent you from doing all kinds of stuff. You know, you can't edit a blank page, as one person said. You can't do that. Okay, so go ahead and do the page. Put the page out there. You can always fix it. You can always change it. Practice decisiveness. An example would be next time you're in a restaurant, look at the menu one time, decide, and order with confidence. Just do it. Don't vacillate between 2 or 3 different things. You can always go back to the restaurant. You can always order something else. You know, I have so many people say, man, there's like 5 things I want on here. Well, order one and then go back 4 more times, but make a decision. Okay. Being decisive is so important, guys. Having an entrepreneurial mindset will allow you to think, act, and perceive the world differently. And it's not just in business. It's going to be the same way now with your family. It's going to be the same way with your friends. When you develop this mindset, guys, it helps you in so many different areas. And I got my comments here. All right, my comments are back. It's amazing that out of disaster come opportunity. I love seeing all the new businesses that have answered the COVID need for new products and services. Oh my gosh, yes, for sure, for sure. And then Paul's got another comment. I'll throw it up on the screen there. Think you can do a whole show on just focus and practices in doing that. That's a good idea, Paul. And Paul, I am going to interview my wife. I talked to her about that. Matter of fact, I'm going to start doing some more interviews. So, you know, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to be interviewed, hey, jump on one of these calls with me. Okay. I would love to talk to you. Like how you can focus on one project or task for a time period and then move on to the next one. Otherwise, time lost in getting back. Very true. Everybody got to see your comments here. I love this new software I got. This is StreamYard. And I think I have an affiliate link in the description for it. You want to check it out. It's pretty cool stuff. Guys, I've enjoyed today. It's woken me up. I'm sitting there saying some of this stuff going, man, there's some more stuff I could do. There's more stuff I could do when I leave this room today. I could get out there and really make a lot more things happen. They don't have to be mundane. They can be different. They can be fun. They can be exciting. Okay. And Paul, we're almost finished with the decorating. I know Paul and Margaret and Jen also sent me messages and they were interested in what we did with the new house and doing a little tour of it. And I think we're about ready. I think we're about ready to show you around here. So I'm going to get on that and make sure that happens. Guys, I've really enjoyed today. I'm going to be live again on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, let me pull up the subject matter for Wednesday. It's going to be 21 lucrative and low-cost small business ideas you can start this year. And I was going to put in 2022, but that would be procrastinating because we're not out of 2021 yet. You can start now. Okay. So I didn't want to do that. I'll see you in 2022. I'm headed to Mexico for 3 weeks. Oh, okay. Very cool. You all over the place, Richard. You live the life, my friend. And I hope your businesses are doing well. Richard is a friend of mine since, I want to say 2015. I did a meetup group in San Diego when I was teaching businesses. And he showed up with his dog, Zeus. I believe your dog's name is Zeus. And we've been friends ever since. And it's been fun watching him. And I hope he's enjoyed watching what I've been doing. Guys, thank you so much for being here today. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit that subscribe button down there. Don't forget, ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time we go live. Paul says, see everyone on Wednesday. Hope everyone has a blessed week ahead, gang. Also, guys, don't forget also that, what am I saying? Oh, yeah. I'm going to be live Wednesday, and I'm going to try to be live Friday and Saturday also. So you should get an email tomorrow to remind you about Wednesday's training. I'm still doing 3 video uploads a week. So look for those every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You're going to get video uploads from me and probably live. So I'm going to try to keep going live because I really enjoy it. I love spending time with you guys. I love really helping people out and getting your input on stuff. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you real soon.